A diagnosis is a moment of inexplicit clarity, blurred identification hemmed in by bones, bones resembling anything but beauty produced on film. How can I make things any clearer here? Can I say the making of important things is like an axis, the study of tectonics, the making make? I want to define elegance. I want to examine the arrangements of its letters, its violence before you. Are tulips elegant? I mean redemptive, transferable. Are red tulips elegant? The thought spills out, everything spills out of it, everything spills. Today, the ospreys are building nests in cell phone towers, and all I can think to say is those are not trees.
The intention. What if everything you did, you had decided to do, and then, within the cracked walls of your intention, ivy grew into a cliche that just as suddenly loosened its grip, the way brown leaves drop from buildings all at once in response to a sudden wind? What if you could enter a building in language that convinced, not by making sense, but by excreting emotion, the way caterpillars drop lines from tree limbs you run into with your face because you can't see them right in front of you? Afterwards, a stickiness haunts your cheek with a phantom tickle you wipe off with the back of your hand without even thinking about it, as if what were at stake were a stray hair, not a whole generation of butterflies. Did you ever think, as I sometimes do, that language itself is a ghost? That language itself is a ghost, the way the dead are shadows, and shadows, the beginning of art. Can never mourn the one who was my life without at the same time mourning everything that was when he was alive. Autobiography doesn't begin to cover it. One can patch in scraps, darn holes in everybody's existence, but the sea still sounds in the desert of one's consciousness, of being alone, without food or water. What if the mind itself were a spiraling coil, or an inner ear reminding itself of itself within the cochlea of its own desire? To be an ear without a membrane for a drum. But who's going to care about an eardrum without the memory or the feeling from memory that inextricably links the ear to the mind? We memorialize our lives in dreams every night, whether we know it or not. It's the way we rehearse the position of the mourner and the one mourned. Is to remember always to mourn? Or is memory a rehearsal for mourning? If I breathe, will I live? Or be lost in the burrow of my animal grief, the way Jack Russells dig through mole tunnels in which their small, determined bodies get stuck and die for lack of air? Thin hair mussed, blue terry cloth robe threatening to fly open, he reached for the newspaper, carried it to the front door. No one bends in the driveway anymore, not even me, who once dropped low repeatedly, trying to understand the reason for our toddler daughter's excited cry. Spirop! Until at last I finally saw the spider web glistening between the crosshairs of the cattle chute fence. Once a shell in the ear of memory, mourning has been the sound I have carried and carry on, as my husband once carried our daughter upstairs on his folded back to places I could no longer take her. He must do what he left us to do for ourselves, Help her know what it means. Help her know what it means that he was her father and is gone.